Welcome back to the another category of the data structure, that is queue. We are already covered RA, linked list as well as the stack. Right now we have to cover the queue data structure. So first we have to understand what is a queue. Queue is a linear data structure that follows fast in fast out principle, so that the element insert into the queue first is going to be popped out. So stack what we perform last in first out. But here queue is data structure. It's a collection of element where the element is inserted into the queue is first is going to be deleted from the queue first. So this is the principle it follows, that is fast in fast out. Here what happened, from one end is used for insertion, another end is used for the deletion. But in case of stack, what happened? The same position is used for insertion as well as the deletion, and we called as that position at that point, or one that end is called as the top of the stack. But here what happened, in case of queue, one end is used for insertion operation, another end is called as the deletion. So insertion, where we are going insert and into the element into the queue, with that end we called as the rear end or tail of the queue. And the deletion is going to be, the end is called as the front end of the queue or head of the queue. For example, we can consider as a ticket counter in a cinema hall. The person enter into the ticket counter is going to be, the ticket is fast. So this is the procedure, means fast in fast out. The same thing we can assume in case of the flight. Whenever we are enter into the flight queue, means the whenever we enter into the fast person enter into the queue is going to be inside the flight fast. So this is the procedure of the queue, fast in fast out. So this is the small example. This is first value, second value, third value, fourth value. So here what happened, this is the front end, means the first the value is entered, then second value, then third value. So first value is going to be delete. In case of the queue, the deletion operation we called as the DQ. The insertion operation or insert into an element into the queue is called as the NQ. Entering into the queue, deleting the element from the queue, and the end which is used for deletion is called as the front end. The end which is used for the insertion is called as the rear. This is the queue. There are various type of queue can be possible. First one is the simple queue, where insertion and deletion is going from the different end. Double-ended queue. By the name, the double-ended queue means both the end can be used for input operation as well as the output operation. But in case of simple queue, what happened? One position, one end is used for the insertion, another end is used for the deletion. But here what happened? Double-ended. Both the end can be used for the insertion as well as the deletion. Again, it is classified into two types. Input restricted queue. Input restricted means input can be possible from one end and deletion can be done from the both the end. So output means output restricted queue is the special type of queue where output is restricted, means only from one end output can be possible or deletion can be possible, but insertion can be possible all the end. Third category is called as the circular queue. Circular queue means the queue end is again linked to the fast end. That's why it is called as the circular queue. Priority queue. Priority queue is a one type of category of the queue where some priority value is given. What is the priority value? Priority value means the queue is associated with the priority. So take an example of a flight. So whenever we are enter into the flight boarding time, at that time what happened? The queue, we are entering to fast come fast serve. But initially what the crew member announced that the person carrying child or senior citizen should be come to the first. It is a queue, but priority is given to the senior citizen or the women carrying the babies. So this is the priority value given to them. They are allowed to enter into the flight first. So this is the priority. So queue is associated with the some priority value, then it is called as the priority queue. Again, priority queue is ascending or descending. It is fully depend upon the which way we are storing the priority value, whether we are storing the ascending order or we are storing in the descending order. Next things, what are the operation is performed by the queue? So first operation is the NQ. NQ means the inserting an element into the queue, and insertion is done from the end is called as the rear end, or we call as the tail of the queue. DQ. DQ means deleting an element from the front end of the queue. It also returns the element which has removed. Means so the element we are removed, it also removed. And this is done from the front end or head of the queue. Pick. Pick is the operation which is used to retrieve the element from the front pointer. There are two pointer, rear pointer as well as the front pointer. It will retrieve the element which is going to be deleted first. That's why it is from the front end. But it does not delete the element. Then overflow means queue overflow. If we are going for the stack implementation, queue implementation using array, at that time what happened? Array size is fixed. After the fixed size, we cannot able to insert, or we cannot able to perform NQ operation. At that time, the situation is called as the each full. Each full means there is no space. We cannot insert the data into the queue. So next operation is the underflow. Underflow means there is no element present inside the queue, then it is called as the underflow. Means our queue is totally empty. At that time, it is called as the underflow. Next thing, how we can implement the queue in a C language. So implementation of the queue can be done two way. First one is the using the array, that is the static memory allocation, means after declaration of the memory we cannot increase or decrease. Second category we called as the implementation using linked list, means here we are allocate the memory dynamically. So as it is dynamically, there is no chances of overflow, because as per our requirements we can insert the element, but whenever we are implementing using array, there is a chances of overflow. Next one is the what are the advantage of using the queue. First, we have to know if we are using the queue, then what are the facilities we are able to get. So first one is that it is very simple as well as the predictability. Queue operational simple because fast and faster. The element is inserted is fast, is going to be delivered. So it is very easy to understand as well as we have to implement. So by next advantage is resource sharing. Queue is help to resource efficiently in various applications such as printing the pooling and tax scheduling by maintaining queue of tax that wait for processing. So whenever we are using printer to print the documents, how it's possible? Because whenever we are putting the multiple documents for print, then what happen? Fast document is going to be print fast because it's purely based on the fast come fast service. Then next advantage is load balancing. In case of distributed computer environment, you are helped to load balancing by queuing tags and distributed them evenly amongst the multiple servers. So there are chances of multiple servers. But here what happened? Load is distributed on the basis of fast come fast serve. That's why it is very easy to implement. Graph traversing. Whenever we are performing the traversal of a graph, it can be done the various way. One of way is the breadth-first search. Breadth-first search means we have to traverse the by help of a means each and every level we are traversing. So whenever we are traversing each and every level, at that time the queue we are using for implementation phase. There are two way we can perform graph traversing. One is the depth first search, another one is the breadth first search. For breadth first search, we are using the queue. For depth first search, we are use the star. Next one is the so here what happened, queue are excellent for handling data for asynchronous process such as buffering input output operation where data can be arrived anytime and need to process in the correct order. So here what happened, data is not coming in specific sequence of order anytime. Arbitrarily it's coming, randomly it's coming. So once it's coming, if we store in a sequence elements, fast the data is come, it's going to be processed fast. Second data going to be processed second. So here we can use for the queue, so that what happened, it can be performed efficiently. There are some disadvantage of queue also, that is the fixed size. If we are implementation the queue by using the array, then what happened? There is a chances of overflow. Time consuming operations such as searching an element or accessing element other than the front means it is time consuming as they require traversal of the entire queue, because insertion and deletion is going to be from one end. If we are want to searching an element means we have to traverse all the element than the front end, then it is very time consuming process. One way versus the queue structure only access from one end for the addition, another end for the deletion, which limits the flexibility compared to the other data structure like the DQ that allow insertion deletion from the both the end. Here what happened? We can insert from one end and we can delete from another way. Next one is what are the different application can be performed by the queue? If we are using queue, then what are the things we can do? So first application is operating system. In case of operating system, processes are managed by the queue in case of multi-environment system. So multi-environment or multitasking means more than one task can be executed simultaneously. In this case, which process is entered into the CPU is the big question. And how its perform is up, because at a time multiple processes are ready to perform its operation, but is inside a processor or inside a CPU, only one process can be executed at a time. So in this case, what happened? The queue is store all the process according to the parity value, arrival time, and all rush time. All the information we are stored inside the queue. And by help of the CPU scheduling algorithm, that is fast come fast or shortest job fast or round robin algorithm or shortest job fast, according to any algorithms, the process present inside the queue is going to be executed fast. So this is the way the queue help in case of operating system for the processing the process. Next one is the healthcare. In healthcare also we can use the queue like the whenever patient enter into the hospital, they take appointment, their treatment, whether they go for the scanning or blood test or anything. So here what happened? You are used in case of hospital or clinics. So according to that, it keep information. The patient is entered into the queue or enter into the appointment list or enter into the blood test list. It's going to be performed fast. E-commerce order processing. Today generation we are using the e-commerce platform very faster way. So here what happened? The order also processing the depend upon the order receipt number through the payment process to the shipment. So here also we are using the queue, because whenever you go for an Amazon or Flipkart, what happened? We are place the order. After that, we will go for payment or not. If you are done the payment, then only your shipment is going to be processed. Without payment, is not going to be processed, whether it is a cash on delivery or online transfer or net banking or anything. So according to that, it is going to be processed. Here also, the queue is used for the order processing. Next application is the bank service. So whenever we are going to bank, then what happened? All the customer transaction at branches is done by the queue. There are maybe some waiting time is token. They are given as token number 1, 2, 3, 4. According to that token number, each and every person enter into the bank for any operation. So here also queue is used. So today generation we are facing very traffic issue. So traffic light system also managed by the queue. Whenever it will be the yellow signal or green signal or red signal, it is purely depend upon the queue. Internally, it is done of the queue on the basis of regulate the flow of traffic to ensure the order of movement of the vehicle. So how the green light will be there, when the red light will be on, when the yellow light will be on, it purely on the basis of the queue. Printing and tax scheduling. In the environment where multiple jobs are submitted to a printer or any other tax executing system, QR help to manage this job is because here what happened, on the basis of priority basis, it will going to process and complete the operation. Call center. In case of customer service call center, incoming calls are held in the queue until an operator is available. Ensure that the calls are answered in order they arrive. So whenever we are calling to a customer care, if we are facing any, for example, we install a washing machine. After installation of the washing machine, we are facing some problem. So at that time, what we are going to do? We are just go to call the customer care. So whenever we are calling the customer care, at that time what happens? So many customer also calling. So at that time what happened? They are maintaining a queue. Which customer call first? So according to that, the operator availability is given to that customer. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you are able to understand overview of the queue. In upcoming video, we are going to implement the queue by using array as well as the linked list. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe the channel more and more.